Hi folks, Lou here, and I'm going to talk about something that's perhaps a little bit esoteric about interpretation and perception in various things, including games. Now, this came to me when I was thinking about interpretation of music, when somebody plays music. And that is certainly open to variety, whether it's classical music or rock music or anything in between. And of course, in jazz, improvisation is actually expected. So one example is Bob Dylan's composition All Along the Watchtower. It's his most covered song. It's played by many with different interpretations, and most are different from how Bob Dylan sings it or sang it before Jimi Hendrix picked it up. Jimi Hendrix turned it into something quite a bit different from what Bob Dylan had done, and in fact, as I understand it, once Bob Dylan had heard Jimi Hendrix play it, he changed how he played it. But of course, Bob Dylan was never going to be able to do the kind of singing and guitar playing that Jimi Hendrix could do. Another example would be the theme of the movie Cars, which was written by Tom Petty, who is Gainesville's native son, so to speak. I live in Gainesville. But it was sung by somebody else for the movie. And they sang it much faster at a much more driving tempo, and I don't mean to make a pun there. And I think for the movie, it was better than Petty's own rendition, and I like it a lot better than Petty's own rendition, but there's a tendency for people to like the first version of something that they hear. But the point here is, even the composer may not be the best person to actually perform whatever the work is. Now, let's consider playing a game. What the player puts into the game makes a big difference to what they get out of it. And you've probably known players who are very active and participate to the hilt in a game, and others that are quite passive. Some people are naturally that way in general, some people are not. It's just how they do games. And I have done a separate video about active versus passive because it's really very important in game playing. And I suppose it's important to a designer, but not something you can do much to control. Now, even in designing a game, the point here is there are many nuances in a game. You can have the same ideas, the same mechanics even, and get something quite different out of two people trying to go from that to design the same game. So one way to look at this is, if you're a designer, be open to suggestions of other people, whether playtesters or others, and recognize that there is no one way to design a particular game. There may be the way that is best for you, but that won't be best for everybody else. You have to recognize variety is what controls things. Thanks for listening.